should not stay confined to a policy document or speeches. They must translate into real action, reaching every child in a meaningful way. Circle aims to do exactly that. It draws from the spirit of UN Convention on the Right of Child 1989 and works to bring that vision into practice. The center will serve as a space for advocacy, research, training, and connecting classrooms with communities and ideas with implementations. To introduce the center, now I would like to invite Dr. Daksha Sharma ma'am, Assistant Professor of Law at South Asian University.
Thank you, Neha, for giving this initiative a true start. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Dr. K.K. Agrawal sir, Honorable President of South Asian University in absentia, our chief guest of the program, Shri Priyank Kanunji, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission and former Chairperson, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, New Delhi, Miss Stuti Narayan Kakkar, Honorable Chancellor, Subharti University, Meerut, and former Chairperson, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, NCPCR, New Delhi, Dr. Dev Pathak, Associate Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, South Asian University. Of the dais also, I can see important dignitaries, Professor Dr. Ritu Gupta ma'am from Faculty of Legal Studies, my senior professors, Dr. Stelina, Dr. Ramni, and Dr. Nafis. Also, deans are sitting, Professor Ritu Gaur ma'am, Professor Dr. Kavita Khanna, and all the deans that I can see, DSW, and also also Dean from Faculty of Social Sciences, and my dear student friends of South Asian University, University administrative staff, and all others who are representing this center and who have come to join this program from various parts of New Delhi. First of all, happy International Child Rights Day to one and all. Today is 20th November, and this day is special because this day reminds us of the 1959 adoption of the Declaration of the Rights of the Child and adoption of Convention on the Rights of the Child by United Nations General Assembly. And on this auspicious day, South Asian University, an international university of SAARC member states, is going to inaugurate its very own center for inspiring the rights of children for learning and empowerment, Circle, centering every child's right to thrive. For encouraging this noble idea, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Professor K.K. Agrawal sir in absentia, our Honorable President, Dr. Devnath Pathak sir, Associate Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, and all my mentors, especially late Professor Dr. T.S.N. Shastri and Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha sir, who is Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Jabalpur. I must admit that without their immense support and guidance, this idea to have the Center for Child Rights would have remained a mere idea. Thank you all for giving us the wings to fly. As this center is located in Faculty of Social Sciences, so it is evident that the nature of this center is interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary in character. This center stands as a beacon of hope and justice for the children of South Asia and beyond. And this is evident from the fact that we have representations from South Asian Initiative to End Violence Against Children, SIVAC. We have representation from UNICEF, NCPCR, prominent NGOs in the field like CRACR and PD, Prayas, Save the Children, to name few. This could not have been possible without the active intervention of our seniors here in South Asian University, President Sir, Vice Presidents, and all the deans, and our revered senior colleagues, and also Advocate Shashank Shekhar, who is very much present with us here, former member of DCPCR, and Dr. Vikram Srivastav, Regional Technical Advisor from SIWAC. From this, from this day, I'm really thinking that now we can come up with more collaborations and we can come up with more activities and courses. Under the esteemed guidance of our Honorable President Sir, the Center is on the mission to serve as the center of excellence in knowledge generation, advocacy, and training on child rights, thereby fostering a society that upholds the dignity, safety, and holistic development of every child. The Center also aims to have research and policy engagements and community outreach in child rights for contributing towards a just, inclusive, and child-friendly future. And also, I request the dignitaries to join for lighting of the lamp first, and then we will have Dr. Dev Pathak's address. Thank you, everyone.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। शुक्लां ब्रह्म विचारसार परमां आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहा। हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां।
Thank you, everyone. Now, to deliver the welcome address, I'd like to invite Dr. Devnath Pathak Sir, Associate Dean of the Department of Sociology at South Asian University. His work spans culture, childhood, and social theory, including a recent writing project on the sociology of childhood supported by Child Rights and You. His scholarship consistently brings empathy and critical insight into conversations about children and society. Dr. Pathak, we welcome you to welcome the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning to all. I welcome our guest of honor, Ms. Shruti Narayan Kakkar, our chief guest, Dr. Priyank Kanungo, my colleagues, and the panelists who would immediately after inauguration would share their feedback on the center. My entry point to the idea of center is very selfish. One, that yes, I have academic interest in childhood studies. A lot of time we are blamed for very childish acts. That is another reason why one can't shy away from accepting such a lucrative opportunity to start an interdisciplinary center. I have two at home, and many parents of my generation have one, two, or maybe none, but we still encounter children in news reports all around us, in neighborhood. And as a result, we can't stay detached from the issues pertaining to children. Children's rights are part of some of the very valuable international documents. Those are very formal reasons why we need to have a center like this. But there is another reason why I feel a center like this is very important, particularly hosted in Faculty of Social Sciences. Worldwide, there has been concern about the nature of social sciences and its fruitful contributions whatsoever to the uplift of society, in spite of the fact that social sciences are primarily dedicated to studying social issues and trying to find resolutions, effective resolutions. There is also this kind of complaint that, the relevance of the work and the suitability, effectivity is all debatable. As a result, a center like this within social sciences in truly interdisciplinary framework provides us all a space for available intellectual resources in the university as well as those which are at large to come together and not only conduct researches, also provide various kind of training modules, courses, 1-year master's programs, so many action plan. Part of action plan when Daksha prepared and we continued to discuss it for a very long time. I felt that being a younger colleague, Daksha was very ambitious, and then I realized that probably I am aging, and therefore I see too much of ambition in the action plan Daksha has drawn, and as a result, I must be available to listen to the younger colleagues, just like I am available to listen to children. Children who may annoy, but they are also very enchanting. Children who may be very disruptive, protesting all the time, but they're also very enriching for our scholarship, for our academic experiences. As a result, we cannot simply rule out the action plan, which may appear very ambitious. So we started on that note that let's have a bigger bucket, in spite of the fact that we had, just like some colleagues will have epistemological issues with the terminology, with the naming, I also had my own share. And I could not find immediate answer, but I just decided that let me get carried away by the youthful energy with which this is getting proposed. And what is better for aging academics to do than to be a pillar of support for younger imagination, youthful imagination. On that note, I would welcome all of you for this inauguration, which is of an ambitious center, which aims at not only studying, also providing so-called effective and affective toolkits for upliftment of the situation in children's rights, and this should suffice as welcome note. Welcome once again to all of you. I thank my colleagues, my students, and the dignitaries who have taken their time out to participate in this inauguration and subsequent panel discussion. Thank you. Your support and cooperation in future would be also solicited. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak, for your thoughtful words for the grounding of today's session in such a meaningful insights. We will now move to the felicitation ceremony as a gesture of respect and gratitude to our distinguished guests. First, may I request Dr. Pathak sir to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Shri Priyank Kanganu sir.
We now move to a special moment, the formal inauguration of the center. We request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly initiate the launch.
I have to thank, friends, I have to thank Dr. Devnath Pathak ji and of course K.K. Agarwal Saab, our president whom I met earlier in other programs, for inviting me for the inauguration of this Center for Inspiring the Rights of Children for Learning and Empowerment, very appropriately called, acronymed as CIRCLE. I was very impressed because it is the circle of life. We are all in the circle of life and we all have been born in a certain way to fulfill a certain destiny. All of you sitting in this classroom have a beautiful future before you, provided you don't mess it up with things that you're not supposed to do. So, my best wishes to all of you and my congratulations and best wishes for this noble cause. The SAARC countries, since this university is dedicated to the SAARC countries, have a large child population and all children are equally important irrespective of gender, nationality or religion. They hold the future of humankind in their hands. As you said कि child is the father of man, but child जो है वो बढ़ करके they will occupy center stage. Out of this classroom, the moment you step out with your degrees, you will be the leaders. We will be watching you. And you all will have to take the decisions to lead the nation forward. But children, not all of us are lucky. You all are here, you all are lucky, you had parents who looked after you, who believed in educating you and thinking about your future. But there are many children जिनके rights deny हो जाते हैं for no fault of theirs, because बच्चा तो बच्चा ही है ना, vulnerable है, dependent है. And क्यों होते हैं? लड़कियों के केस में तो चाइल्ड मैरिज होती है, बट लड़कों के केस में भी अडल्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आ जाती है बहुत कम. हाँ, हमारा योगा टीचर ऑल्सो सेज बी हाइड्रेटेड, सो ही स्पीकिंग फ्रॉम समवेयर. तो 3 लीटर पानी रोज पीना चाहिए. तो चाइल्ड मैरिज होती है और जो बच्चा होता है, लड़का होता है, उसके ऊपर अडल्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ आती हैं जो हम लोग नहीं समझते हैं. वो जवान होते ही होते बूढ़ा हो जाता है, इतनी जिम्मेदारी आ जाती है. कैन नॉट एन्जॉय लाइफ. एन्जॉय माने एक केयर फ्रीनेस जो होती है ना, कि ज़िंदगी में अपने पढ़ाई लिखाई करो, खेलो कूदो विदाउट अ केयर इन द वर्ल्ड. मगर जब ये जिम्मेदारी हो जाती है किसी चीज़ की, तो वो बच्चा जो होता है वो सडनली बूढ़ा हो जाता है, एक बोझ कैरी करता है. तो लड़कियों को भी अफेक्ट करती है चाइल्ड मैरिज, तो लड़कों को भी उतना ही अफेक्ट करती हैं. फिर जो हम लोग, खैर अब प्रियंक जी हैं तो नाउ ही कैन टेक ऑन दिस लोड ऑफ स्पीकिंग अबाउट चाइल्ड राइट्स एंड ऑल. बट 2-3 इश्यूज़ हैं जो, जैसे कि चाइल्ड सेक्सुअल अब्यूज़, दिन पे दिन हम लोग अखबारों में पढ़ते हैं कि चिल्ड्रन इवन घरों पे सेफ़ नहीं हैं और बच्चों को किस तरह से एक्सप्लॉइट किया जाता है, इज़ अनदर रीज़न. फिर बच्चों से काम करवाना, चाइल्ड लेबर. एक चीज़ तो तुम लोग अभी से कर सकते हो कि अपने घर में बच्चे को मत रखो फॉर डूइंग हाउस होल्ड वर्क. अगर किसी वजह से है भी तो उसको सी टू इट दैट द चाइल्ड is not overburdened, because children do need to earn for their families. It is a fact of life, but it is a wrong thing that we are making them do. But help out such children and see to it that they have as far as possible normal childhood. फिर climate change तो अपनी जगह है. climate change का एक डाउन साइड ये है कि माइग्रेशन होता है, और माइग्रेशन में फैमिलीज़ जो है अपने बच्चों को छोड़ के चले जाते हैं रिश्तेदारों के यहाँ या कहीं और चले जाते हैं, तो जहाँ उनका एक्सप्लॉयटेशन होता है. ऑफन दे आर यूज्ड एज अनपेड लेबर इन दोज हाउसेस. या फिर जब माइग्रेशन अपने साथ ले जाते हैं तो काम ढूंढना और ये सब करने की वजह से बच्चे निगलेक्ट हो जाते हैं और अनसुपरवाइज्ड बच्चा जो होता है बिकम्स एक्सप्लॉयटेड. फिर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. इनफैक्ट हर समय जब भी हम गाज़ा की तस्वीरें देखते हैं और जब हम इसको सीरिया की प्रॉब्लम्स देखते हैं, बांग्लादेश की प्रॉब्लम्स देखते हैं, नेपाल की प्रॉब्लम्स देखते हैं, तो हमें यही लगता है कि इनके यहाँ कितने बच्चे हो रहे हैं। अगर जितनी मौत हो रही है, कोई ना कोई अपने पीछे वो छोड़ करके एक ऑफन यतीम बच्चा जाता है आदमी। और उन बच्चों के का भविष्य जो होता है ना, जब एक बार कोई संरक्षक नहीं होता है घर में, तो फिर वो उसकी वल्नरेबिलिटी इंक्रीज़ हो जाती है। और वल्नरेबिलिटी जब इंक्रीज़ हो जाती है, उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ ऑफ लिविंग अ गुड लाइफ, ऑफ लर्निंग ख़त्म हो जाती हैं। एंड अगेन वी कम बैक टू अडल्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़। फिर टेररिज्म, रेडिकलाइजेशन, ये भी एक बहुत बड़े प्रॉब्लम्स इमर्ज हो रहे हैं। हमारे यहाँ भी अभी जो टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ है, देखो कितने सारे, रेड फोर्ट के पास एक बम विस्फोट हुआ, कितने लोग मरे कटे, क्या हुआ होगा उन घर में, कितने इनोसेंट लोग मरे हैं, उनके बच्चों का, परिवारों का क्या हो रहा होगा। तो इट इज़ all these problems are there, and there are many more. I won't go into it because I know Mr. Kanungo is here. I know he knows much more about it. And but इससे होता क्या है, नेट रिजल्ट क्या होता है? मेंटल हेल्थ पे असर होता है, और मेंटल हेल्थ पे जहाँ असर होता है तो आदमी सब्सटेंस अब्यूज़ में चला जाता है, और उससे फिर निकलना बहुत मुश्किल है। खैर, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी that Saivak, I was hoping DG Saivak would be here, but probably he's not been able to come. तो इस एरिया के कम से कम ये रीजन जहाँ पे बच्चे बहुत संख्या में हैं, उसमें एक ये जो सेंटर बन रहा है, उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो there will be lot of shared learnings और एक्सपीरियंस शेयरिंग जो होती है, बेस्ट वे टू लर्न, बिकॉज हर कंट्री में अलग अलग बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस होती हैं। इनफैक्ट हम एक प्रोग्राम में गए थे जहाँ पे देयर वाज दिस लेडी फ्रॉम नायरोबी, एंड दे हैव दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ, अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज़ में कुछ विमेन सेफ्टी की ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, इट्स अ डिफरेंट कल्चर ऑल टुगेदर। तो वो कह रही थी कि इन दैट कंट्री दे हैड डेवलप्ड अ प्रोग्राम ऑन हाउ टू ब्रिंग अप बॉयज़। If you want to keep your women safe, develop a program for them, for the boys, on how to bring them up, how to respect their mothers, other women, sisters, So you get so many good ideas from so many places when there is this sharing of experience. और हम लोगों का एक kind of shared history भी है, इस region की है, because this area has almost always been together, some way or the other, trade से, इससे उससे, historical reasons रहे हैं कि we have commonalities of problems, और यहाँ पे ये setup हो रहा है for the SAARC region. I think it is an excellent idea. Also it is an excellent idea कि सोशियोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में हो रहा है, बिकॉज ऐसा होता है कि व्हेन आई टॉक्ड अबाउट मेंटल हेल्थ, लॉ क्या करती है? लॉ होती है क्राइम एंड पनिशमेंट। आपने एक क्राइम किया, आपका पनिशमेंट हो गया, मगर विक्टिम का क्या हुआ एंड परपेट्रेटर के दिमाग के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, दैट नोबडी नोज। इट इज़ द सोशियोलॉजिस्ट हु विल बी एबल टू figure out something, how to rehab that person, the softer side, the human element of this entire problem. So I'm very happy, sir, that you have been able to get this in your kabza. So please make good use of it. But do involve the psychologists also. But it's really good that you have got this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enriching address and for sharing your invaluable perspective with us. It is my immense privilege to now introduce our chief guest, Shri Priyank Kanungo. Shri Kanungo's career is a testament to the power of passionate advocacy. No matter what I say about you, it will not be enough. So, yeah.
Thank you. साउथ एशियन यूनिवर्सिटी में सेंटर फॉर चाइल्ड राइट्स के स्थापना समारोह में यहाँ उपस्थित आदरणीय पाठक साहब, हम सबको यहाँ इकट्ठा करके बुलाने में अपना श्रम लगाने वाले शशांक शेखर जी, दक्षा शर्मा जी, जिन्होंने बड़ी मेहनत से ये सेंटर फॉर चाइल्ड राइट्स का, मैं समझता हूँ, सबको कन्विंस करने से लेके, कॉन्सेप्शलाइजेशन से लेकर के, और आज जब हम इसको शुरू कर पा रहे हैं वहाँ तक का एक लंबा सफ़र तय करने में एक बड़ी भूमिका निभाई है। यहाँ उपस्थित प्रोफेसर्स, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, स्टूडेंट्स और मेरी गुरु आदरणीय स्तुति कक्कड़ मैम, मैम जैसा बता रही थी कि चाइल्ड राइट्स में काम करने का मौका मुझे उनके अंडर मिला जब मैडम जो है चेयरपर्सन रही नेशनल कमीशन फॉर प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चाइल्ड राइट्स की। तो एज मेंबर मैंने उनके अंडर काम किया, उनसे सीखा। भारत तो नर सेवा नारायण सेवा को मानने वाला देश है, मनुष्य की सेवा में ही ईश्वर की सेवा है, ऐसा मानने वाला देश है। तो ये बताएगा कौन? तो आई एम फॉर्चुनेट वन कि एक और सेइंग है, कहावत है मैम, गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाओ, बलिहारी गुरु आपकी जो गोविंद दियो बताए। तो एक विश्वविद्यालय में बैठ करके ये स्वीकार करना कि आपने वो रास्ते बताए जिन पे चलकर हम भारत के बच्चों के लिए कुछ कर पाए। बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों को शुरू कर पाए, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है। और यहाँ प्रोफेसर से, लेक्चरर्स से, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स से मेरी गुजारिश है, मैं खुद का एग्जांपल देके आपसे कह सकता हूँ कि जितना ट्रस्ट एज मेंटर, एज गुरु मैडम कक्कड़ ने मुझ पर किया, आप लोग अगर अपने स्टूडेंट्स पे ट्रस्ट करेंगे, भरोसा करेंगे, उनको फ्री छोड़ेंगे, उन्हें काम करने देंगे, हो सकता है कई बार छोटी मोटी गलती करके आए, लेकिन यकीन मानिए जितना आप उनको फ्री उड़ने देंगे वो उतने अच्छे रिजल्ट्स लेकर के आपके पास आएंगे। आज हम इंटरनेशनल चाइल्ड राइट्स डे पर बैठे हुए हैं और ये सेंटर फॉर चाइल्ड राइट्स का इनॉग्रेशन है। यूनाइटेड नेशन कन्वेंशन फॉर राइट्स ऑफ चिल्ड्रन की आप लोगों ने बातें की भी हैं, पढ़े भी होंगे। मैं आपको 2-3 बातें यहाँ बता के जाना चाहता हूँ कि UNCRC तक रिस्ट्रिक्ट होके प्लीज़ इस सेंटर को मत रखिए, क्योंकि ये वो वक्त है जब हम यूनाइटेड नेशंस को पूरी ताकत से ये बात बोलें कि भाई जो UNCRC में आप लोगों ने 35 साल पहले लिखा, तय किया, वो पुराना हो गया है और इतनी तेजी से ये दुनिया बदली है। आप सोचिए ज़रा, जो जेन जी के आने से पहले लिख गया वो रिलेवेंट कैसे हो सकता है? आज हम जिस जनरेशन के साथ डील कर रहे हैं और जो जनरेशन अब आगे बढ़ रही है, अब अल्फ़ा आ रही है, तो जी और अल्फ़ा के ज़माने में जो डॉक्यूमेंट लिखा गया वो मेरी जनरेशन के लिए लिखा गया, हम लोग मिलेनियल थे, तो अब वो इररिलेवेंट है। इररिलेवेंट इन द सेंस कि UNCRC ये कहता है कि प्राइमरी लेवल तक की एजुकेशन बच्चों के लिए राइट के रूप में होनी चाहिए, उनके अधिकार के रूप में होनी चाहिए। भारत सन 2002 से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आर्टिकल 21A इंसर्ट करके फंडामेंटल राइट के तौर पे राइट टू एजुकेशन दे रहा है अप टू एलिमेंट्री लेवल। और जो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है 5 साल, जिसको चलती हुई होगा, जिसके बेनिफिट्स हम सब ले रहे हैं, वो इसको सेकेंडरी तक ले जाने के लिए बहुत तेज़ी से काम कर रहा है। मसलन पूरी दुनिया में बच्चों को पोर्नोग्राफिक कंटेंट बनाने के लिए उपयोग करना, उनका यूज़ करना, वो क्राइम है। ये भारत में भी क्राइम है, लेकिन भारत का जो पॉक्सो एक्ट है उसका सेक्शन 11 बच्चों को पोर्नोग्राफिक कंटेंट, भले ही वो एडल्ट ने बनाया है, उससे एक्सपोज करना, वो दिखाना, इसको भी क्राइम मानता है। जब हम इस जनरेशन की बात कर रहे हैं तो ये बताना भी इम्पोर्टेंट है कि पूरी दुनिया में हम जिनको लिबरल कंट्रीज़ का पायनियर मानते हैं, हम अगर हमको किसी की बात करनी है, अगर भारत को किसी के साथ तुलनात्मक अध्ययन करना है, अगर भारत की तुलना किसी मुल्क से आज की जानी है, तो हमको अमेरिका और चाइना के अलावा किसी से करनी ही नहीं चाहिए। मुझे पिछले हफ्ते बच्चे ने ये बताया है कि जज साहब हमको पेशी के लिए अंदर नहीं बुलाते, कोर्ट में नहीं बुलाते हैं, पता चल जाता है कि अगली तारीख लग गई है। ये स्थितियां देश के लिए खतरनाक है। अगर हम ये मान लेंगे कि इस ऑब्जर्वेशन होम के अंदर जो बच्चे हैं वो अपराधी हैं, तो हम अपराधियों को समाज में इंड्यूस करने से रोक नहीं पाएंगे। अब देखिए, इनका रिकॉर्ड तो होना नहीं है। अगर आपने समाज पे अच्छे नागरिक के रूप में जाने के लिए इनको रिहेबिलिटेट नहीं किया, तो अपराधियों की गैंग खड़ी हुई है इनका उपयोग अपराध के लिए करवाने के लिए। तो यहाँ पे ऐसे सेंटर्स की आवश्यकता बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है। वो आप लोगों ने बचपन में कहानी सुनी है, बहेली आएगा जाल बिछाएगा, जाल में फंसना नहीं, वो दाना डालेगा दाना चुगना। आपके सामने पता है इस सेंटर के सामने कैसे कैसे दाने आने वाले हैं। जो चैलेंजेस इस समय देश में है, अभी एक बार मैंने आपको एक बात बताई है कि ऑब्जर्वेशन होम के बच्चों को वो सारे राइट्स उनके नहीं मिल रहे जो कानून कहता है। इसको यहाँ पे फ्रीज करिए, एक दूसरी तरफ चलती है। एक बड़ा चैलेंज है, विक्रम जी पिटीशन लगाए हुए हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह के रिजीम में भारत की एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल हुआ करती थी इंदिरा जयसिंह। तो उन्होंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाकर के दरखास्त लगाई हुई है और उनका कहना यह है, जिसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुन रहे हैं, कि पॉक्सो जो कानून है वो 18 साल की उम्र तक बच्चों को रिलेशनशिप में नहीं आने दे रहा है, फिजिकल रिलेशनशिप में नहीं आने दे रहा है। और बच्चे अगर रोमियो जूलियट की तरह इस रिलेशनशिप में आ जाते हैं बिलो द एज ऑफ 18 ईयर्स, तो उनको जो है जेलों में जाना पड़ रहा है। इसलिए पॉक्सो में एज ऑफ कंसेंट को 16 कर दीजिए। आप सब लोग कल को पेरेंट्स बनेंगे। अभी आपने लिखा था ना, चाइल्ड इज ए फादर ऑफ मैन, तो चाइल्ड इज ए मदर ऑफ मैन। जब हम लोग जाएंगे आगे, जब हम देखेंगे 16 साल की उम्र में फिजिकल रिलेशनशिप की इजाजत देने के लिए लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहुंचे हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट उसको सुन रहे हैं, बड़े सीरियसली सुन रहे हैं, गंभीरता से सुन रहे हैं। लेकिन एज ऑफ मैरिज, एज ऑफ वोटिंग, एज ऑफ ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस, एज ऑफ ब्ला 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 एडल्टहुड की जो है वो 18 ही रहेंगी। क्या हम वाकई में भारत को वैसा कंट्री बना देना चाहते हैं जहां बच्चे अपनी पीठ पर अपने बच्चों को लेकर के घूमें? क्या हम भारत को वाकई उस स्थिति में ले जाना चाहते हैं जहां चिल्ड्रन होम्स भरे पड़े हों ऐसी लड़कियों से जिनको समाज ने नकार दिया है इस कारण कि वो प्रेग्नेंट है और वो नाबालिग है और वो चिल्ड्रन होम्स में रह रही है? क्या हम भारत में वाकई एक ऐसा समाज बनाना चाहते हैं जो उन बच्चों को चिंता करने के लिए नए नए उपाय खोजेगा जो इस तरीके की रिलेशनशिप से पैदा हो गए हैं? क्या हम भारत के परिवारों में 16 साल की उम्र किस चीज के लिए आज की तारीख में? 16 साल की उम्र बच्चों के बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी की उम्र है। क्या हम वाकई भारत में ये चाहते हैं कि बच्चे बोर्ड एग्जाम की तैयारी के समय आपस में ये डिस्कशन भी करें कि विच कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव इज बेटर, विच गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट इज बेटर? ये हमको सोचना पड़ेगा। और उसमें दलील क्या है कि बच्चे ऑब्जर्वेशन होम्स में भरे पड़े। और जो बहेलिया आएगा, जो दाना डालेगा, वो आके आप लोगों से ऐसी ही बातें बोलेगा कि बच्चे ऑब्जर्वेशन होम्स में भरे पड़े। ये नहीं बताएगा कि जज साहब बुला के सुनवाई नहीं कर रहे इसलिए भरे पड़े। वो ये भी आके नहीं बताएगा कि उसका प्रिलिमिनरी असेसमेंट नहीं हो रहा है। आप जैसे ही बच्चों का एक सेंटर, आप जैसे प्रोफेसर्स का एक सेंटर उड़ीसा की नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी में, आप प्लीज गूगल करिएगा, वेबसाइट पे जाके देखिएगा। एक जर्नल छापा है उन्होंने, और आप सबकी इजाजत से मैं यहाँ कोट अनकोट बताना चाहूंगा कि जर्नल में वो क्या लिख रहे हैं। मुझे एक सेकंड का वक्त दीजिए, शायद मैं कोट अनकोट ना बता पाऊं, आपका नेटवर्क कमजोर है, ये जेनजी के लिए हित करनी। लेकिन वो अपने जर्नल में ये लिख रहे हैं कि बच्चों को 16 साल की उम्र में सेक्सुअल रिलेशनशिप में ना जाने देना उनके रिप्रोडक्टिव राइट्स को रोकना है। They are not allowed to enjoy their reproductive rights in the age of 16 years. और इस प्रकार की जो रिपोर्ट्स होती हैं, इस प्रकार के जर्नल्स होते हैं, नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी का जर्नल है भाई। मैं आज बिल्कुल नाम लेने के मूड में नहीं, मैं किसी का नाम नहीं लूंगा कि पीछे से कौन फंड करना है। तो लेकिन वो आपका काम है रिसर्च करना। लेकिन ये बहेलिये में जो छपवा दिया, अब ये कोई साहब जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लेके पहुंच जाएंगे कि साहब ये देखिए, ये बोल रहे हैं कि ये रिप्रोडक्टिव राइट्स के ऊपर वायलेशन है। क्या हम 17 साल के बच्चों को रिप्रोडक्टिव राइट्स देना चाहते हैं? पूरी दुनिया कहती है कि, पूरी दुनिया के साइंटिस्ट कहते हैं, डॉक्टर्स कहते हैं कि 19 साल की उम्र के पहले लड़कियों का प्रेगनेंसी में जाना आप एक कमजोर जनरेशन को तैयार करने की तरफ भेजते हैं। वो जनरेशन जो प्रेग्नेंट हो रही वो भी कमजोर होगी और जो बच्चे पैदा होंगे वो और भी कमजोर होंगे। क्या 18-17 साल की उम्र बार बार एबॉर्शंस को बेयर करने के लिए होती है? और सबसे आखिर में जो बात भारत में होनी चाहिए वो ये, हमने महात्मा गांधी को राष्ट्रपिता के रूप में स्थापित किया। हमने महात्मा गांधी का सम्मान इस देश में हमेशा अक्षुण्ण सर्वोच्च रखा। महात्मा गांधी हमारे नोट पर छपे हैं, लेकिन महात्मा गांधी के विचार हमारे मन से खत्म होते जा रहे हैं। ये खतरनाक। आज से 100 साल पहले गांधी जी ने ये लड़ाई लड़ी थी कि लड़कियों का, गांधी जी ने लिखा है यंग इंडिया में 1921 में लिखा है कि यदि नाबालिगी में लड़कियों का सेक्सुअल एब्यूज हो रहा है तो वो उनके लिए स्वराज नहीं है। क्या आपको लगता है कि गांधी जी केवल एक पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट थे या गांधी जी एक सोशल एक्टिविस्ट थे? वो देश बदल रहे थे, नया देश बना रहे थे। और नया देश बनाते वक्त उन्होंने ये तय किया था और उन्होंने बोला था और 1929 का कानून बनवाया था। उस भारत में कानून बनवाया था जहां चाइल्ड मैरिज इस कदर एक्सेप्टेबल थी कि गांधी जी वाज हिमसेल्फ विक्टिम ऑफ चाइल्ड मैरिज। उन्होंने बात 10 बार की। लेकिन हम गांधी जी को विसार के, गांधी जी को भुला के क्या मालूम किस देश की तरफ भारत को किस और ले जाएंगे, ये एक सवाल की बात है। इस सेंटर से जो मेरी अपेक्षा है, आपकी 1 मिनट में मैंने सारी कहानी बता दी, समझ में तो आपको सब आ ही गया है, लेकिन जो मुद्दे की बात है वो ये है कि आप डेटा सेंटर बनाइए सर। हमको फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशंस की, फॉरेन फंडेड इंस्टीट्यूशंस की डेटा से, रिपोर्ट से, उस तरीके की बायस्ड रिसर्च से बाहर आने की आवश्यकता है जो देश को एक पर्टिकुलर दिशा में ले जाना चाहता है। भारत में काम करने वालों की एवरेज आयु आज की तारीख में 29 साल है, 29 ईयर्स। भारत दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी चाइल्ड पॉपुलेशन का घर है, 55 करोड़ बच्चे। भारत में जो आयु 29 साल है वो यूएस में और चाइना में 38 और 39 साल है। भारत में 90 करोड़ से ज्यादा वर्केबल पॉपुलेशन है, काम करने लोग योग्य आबादी है, जो चाइना और अमेरिका से कहीं ज्यादा है। यही वो रिसोर्स है जो भारत को 2047 में विकसित भारत बनाएगा। उसको रोकने के लिए इसको पॉर्न की आदत डालिए, इसको इंटरनेट की लत डालिए, इसको सेक्स की लत डालिए, इसको ड्रग एडिक्ट बनाइए। ये सब एजेंडे से बाहर निकालने के लिए, अच्छे नरेशन के लिए, अच्छे रिपोर्ट्स के लिए, अच्छे डेटा के लिए, सच के लिए ये इंस्टीट्यूट काम करे। ऐसी मेरी आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Thank you, Shri Kanungoji, for your enlightening and thought-provoking words. As this landmark event draws to a close, it is now time for the formal vote of thanks. May I now request Dr. Balram Prasad Raut, Assistant Professor at Faculty of Legal Studies, to please come to the podium and extend the vote of thanks.
Namaskar, all of you. I am really feeling privileged and honored in your kind and gracious presence. Now the time has come to extend our sincere thanks. So it is an honor to extend my heartfelt gratitude that all of you came and made our launching program successful. And now that the center will be known as Sarkiri, so that is will be for, and then it will keep continued for years and years. Even we shall be here and even we shall not be here. That does not make any differences. That the institution will be there and it will be for all of us. So now I would like to extend my sincere thanks to, however, our Honorable Professor K.K. Agarwal. He is busy in some important meeting. But without his, kind support, why? Because he is really an inspiration for us. So without his kind support, and it would not have been possible to launch this center for us. So I would like to extend my sincere thanks once again to him. Now I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Miss Shruti Narayan Kakkar, Chancellor, Subharati University and former chairperson of National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Thank you, ma'am, for your kind blessings and gracious presence and making our program successful. Now I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Priyank Kanungo, member, National Human Rights Commission and former chairperson of National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights. Sir, your presence have really pleased us and made us happy.
When we were talking about the morning session, one thing was very clear that recently we celebrated Children's Day, and they've talked about that childhood that all of us want, that it should remain with us always. But that doesn't happen in real life. It's not that we are scared. It's that we are working towards empowerment. This is the main aim of Circle, and the name, like others, has been a talk of the session, because the name that they have chosen, it really something that I look for, Center for Inspiring Rights of Children for Learning and Empowerment. So the situation is that even if we have this crisis about child rights, it's not about that we need to be just afraid of and we should close our eyes. Rather, how do we train? How do we provide that safeguard? How legally we can protect, and how sociologically as a society we come over the challenges that loom large. So it's not that we are unaware. Challenges are many. I tried to count, but I couldn't. You will help me. I'll just start with being, in the chair amidst all these stalwarts in their field is a big challenge. I need their guidance and help. Children need health care. I'm talking about all the care they need. Health includes malnutrition, it includes immunization, and it includes any kind of aid. We talk about education of children. We talk about protection of the child. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am is there and will move on to this, because these are few of the objectives UNICEF is working for. Emergency situations. Emergency, which is beyond definition. In law, we try to codify everything, but emergency is something we cannot. Mental health issues, all those kinds of issues that emanate from violence and exploitation. I have never been an expert on child rights, but I have closely worked with gender issues. I have worked with women's issues, and the experience that I have to talk about this, I can say surely.
I'm very thankful to you, all of you, particularly those invited me officially, Mr. D. Mathur, Daksha, and Mr. Ram. Mr. Ram is not around. No, there. Okay. I'm sorry. And to others who are sitting here, Shashank, my colleague and co-worker for decades, we have been working together. Ritu, thank you very much for your introduction and perspective you gave me. Vijay Lakshmi, of course, she is an expert. She knows everything, and she is going to talk about whatever we can think internationally, where we look at ourselves. It's a very important occasion for me, for the simple reason that to this campus I have come for the first time. And this campus opens up immense potentiality it has and endless possibility. I'm happy to hear that there are already 17 faculties here and nearly 70 persons are working. The faculty members are there and 1,700 students have joined already. I have no idea about this growth. I can see a very, very big future for you. And there I can see ourselves, people like us, we partners in this kind of activity that you're going to open up. First of all, friends, South Asian University, as we understand, it is about SAARC countries, no? And I think 2010 this idea started off. And today, Afghanistan may be somewhere which is not exactly in the mainstream, although for India it has become geopolitically a partner already. So all the 8 countries that we are talking about, India not being the big brother, but India being the largest, India being the most vibrant democracy, India being one of the biggest powers in the world today, and also a country which gives hope, which creates a model for everyone. I think in our countries we are supposed to lead in many ways without being leaders so pronounced. It's something very important. So the role of this particular university in India and across the SAARC countries is something of a great significance. Frankly speaking, it has just begun. I mean, you are in the beginning of your entire journey. And when you say Center for Inspiring Rights of Children for Learning and Empowerment, Circle, the term that you have given, it's pregnant with some ideas which I am not aware of. I do not know who gave this title Circle, who gave this entire explanation. But as I can see, who gave it? You. Yes. All of you. Okay, all right. No, but I can see the possibilities in the sense that learning is not just education. Learning is not just reading and writing. Learning is far beyond it. And in the context of rights, in the context of the human rights, UNCRC, Vijay Lakshmi will talk about it, I am sure. They will talk about very important things. And then I would love to come here again, whenever you call me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words and inviting first chairperson and their colleagues. That validates the efforts of Circle.
Yeah.
And thank you for your generous offer for collaboration. My colleagues at Circle will surely be in touch with you. And now, in this session, we move on to Shashank sir. Shashank sir, your profile that we just heard about. Your expertise is indeed fighting for the cases representing children in POCSO offences. And one thing that I could note in your CV, because it talks about issue of missing children, which is again very, something which we keep on reading every time in the newspaper, but we do not know how do we contribute. So please share your experiences on this and guide our students. Yeah.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Especially share. Sir introduced me as his colleague, but he has been my role model. He has been my mentor. So that's the reason that I have to come to himself. So before going through these are things, I must admit that my experience of working for children, missing children, started from the DCPC and Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights, where I was a member and served as chairperson. And for 9 years, I looked after the missing children issues of Delhi. So there are so many issues, there are so many things which relates to missing children issue. But before that, I would like to highlight the importance of right to expression of the child. Because you see the missing children issues, or the issue related to sexual abuse of a child, it develops slowly, steadily in a manner, in a particular pattern. It is not committed in a day. And what we lack is, we don't hear to our children. We don't give them the right to expression. Whether somebody with a malafide intention is approaching the child or not. Or it is only the child who knows about it, not the parents, until and unless the child expresses these things before the parents. So from morning itself, we have been discussing UNCRC, United Nations Convention on Rights of Child. We have our child has 4 types of rights: right to survival, right to development, right to protection, and right to participation. Similarly, we have 4 forms of abuse: physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, and neglect. And I'm very sorry to say that neglect has been neglected like anything. Now we have started understanding the importance of neglect. It is neglect because of which all other three forms of abuses take place. हम बच्चे की बात नहीं सुनते, हम बच्चे को ध्यान नहीं देते, हम बच्चे की देख रेख नहीं प्रॉपरली करते, बच्चा किसी न किसी फॉर्म ऑफ अब्यूज से गुजरेगा. That if you give a child a right to participation, I can bet on the basis of my experience of working in this field for almost 25 years, आपका बच्चे का सेक्सुअल अब्यूज नहीं होगा और आपके बच्चे की ट्रैफिकिंग नहीं होगी. कश्मीर के एक सरपंच ने हमसे कहा कि सर मेरे बच्चों के दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है ये आप निकाल दीजिए, तभी परमानेंट ट्रूथ होगा, तभी शांति आएगी. So this is all what is dependent on how much we allow the child to participate, to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, respected Chair Ma'am and distinguished panelists. Thank you, sir, for your kind words that I don't believe I know everything. I think I'm still learning. Together, yes, together we are learning. And also distinguished guests and students. At the outset, I think I want to congratulate the university for starting such a important initiative, and I think very relevant in today's times. While you mentioned, ma'am, that I'll speak about the challenges in the legal implementation, I want to kind of keep my my deliberation a little broader. So it was just as I was kind of coming down to the center to this meeting, and I was really thinking that why do we need to really talk about child rights? You know, what is the importance? Is it relevance? Because बच्चों को तो कोई ड्यूटी नहीं होता है, तो राइट्स के बारे में क्यों बात करना है? You know, so I think the biggest shift which was brought about because of the Convention on the Rights of the Child is the shift in the paradigm in terms of how do we really look at children. You know, the shift was from looking at children as objects to someone as individuals with rights. Yeah? And if you want to, like, you know, when you talk about child rights, approach, then this is one of the convention is one document which has a large number of rights, unlike other conventions. When you look at different conventions for adults, for women, for maybe people with disability, this is one convention where it covers a huge number of rights, and it took 10 years for the international community to actually draft this, because they discussed each and every article and they wanted a consensus on the definition of each and every article.
Thank you. So we have already introduced the course that is International Law related to Children's Rights Protection and Development, and I'm thankful to my seniors, but I'm equally thankful to all my students and scholars who are present here, because of which we can have this kind of panel discussion. So the course is already interdisciplinary in nature, and as far as the field work is concerned, with the guidance of my seniors and the support of the university, we also take students for community service program. Last week, our students from the same course came and joined for one of the community service programs. Again, as far as the expert panelists' views are concerned, I must say that they are already coming with vast field experience. So at this juncture, I do not have much to say on child rights and child participation, because all the major points are covered by our expert panelists. But still, I would like to highlight what Amod sir has said, that coming from the background of police services, how he has related to child rights as a subject and what he has done for the rights of the children, and that stands really commendable. And coming to our another expert panelist, Advocate Shashank Shekhar sir, who has really helped to shape this idea.
to felicitate Ms. Vijayalakshmi Arora ma'am.
Thank you, Alisa. So I would like to request the chair, Dr. Dhananjay Tripathi, Associate Professor and Associate Dean Faculty of International Studies, South Asian University. So, sir, kindly, I would like to hand over the podium.
Thank you, Balram. At the very beginning, I would like to congratulate Daksha, Balram, and my dear friend Devnath Pathak for taking this very important initiative. Because I was just thinking in the morning, since morning, in fact, a couple of days also, like why in a university we need a center that is dedicated to child rights. Means anyway we talk of human rights, we talk of climate change, we talk of gender issues, and all these are related to rights in some way. But after listening to the first panel, I got so convinced that all of it starts with child. You know, what kind of society we are looking at, what kind of country, nation, society, whatever we talk about in a big way, it actually starts from a very initial, it starts with child. And I'm also a father. I was listening to Advocate Shekhar, and he made such an important point. We have to listen to our child. We are now with Dr. Vikram Srivastava, who is a technical advisor, and he's from Nepal.
So we had centers before. We have centers in other places across the world. I think the biggest fear we should be very wary of is that we should not become a replica of some other center. And I think that will require a lot of not only thought process, courage, lot of lucrative offers which you should not take up. Because otherwise, if you go by the same route, same path, your end will also be the same. You will become irrelevant. So the first thing you should be very wary of is that we should not take the same route, same path of running the center, which you have beautifully initiated, and I'm sure it will be curated in the same way. Second thing, when it comes to child rights, and especially in context of South Asia, there's an ongoing debate which is going globally now. A lot of human rights issues, a lot of human rights concepts is many times a Western push. The concepts are very Western push. And at times it does not suit or get into conflict with the Oriental understanding of individual, family, culture, society, and a lot of these things together integrated in a way. And when we look towards the larger, even the concept of UN for that matter, the debate on the Security Council is just not a one-point discussion. It has a very, very larger ramification on all the other aspects of human rights. And you cannot take away child rights from the larger discourse of human rights. So when I see a center, and I don't see now that I'm sitting in India or in Delhi, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that I'm sitting at an international university which caters to this whole South Asia.
Thank you. It's a very important point.
I'm glad that I came. Whatever little students have left, अभी के सेशन के लिए जितने बच गए हैं उनको भी I really I wish to thank you for sitting and patiently listening, because otherwise whom do we share and what do we share with? That is also the thing. But a lot of meaningful things have been spoken through the morning, through the day. Child rights में जब because हमने आज ये भी बात करी कि ये बच्चा की तरह आज this center has just born, it has just taken birth today. और जब किसी का जन्म होता है उस दौरान जो उसके आसपास का जो संवाद होता है ना, अगर वो पावरफुल हो और बहुत ही मंझे हुए लोग वो संवाद कर रहे हो तो आप सोचो कि आगे की जर्नी कैसी होगी. है ना. I'm very very confident and sure कि आज जो discussions हमने child rights पे करना शुरू किया है, this is going to go a long way, a very long way. I would like to now share certain experiences on child rights from NCPCR's perspective. Many of you are aware, people who are professionals who have been in the field, जो यहाँ बैठे हैं उनको तो पता ही है, पर आप लोग जो बैठे हो, the young minds, the young students, you must know that National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is a statutory body which has been established under the Act of Parliament of India, and it's got powers of a civil court, and our job is to ensure that all the laws, all the policies, all the international instruments, treaties, mechanisms, administrative mechanisms, etc. जो भी हमारे देश में है आज, they are in consonance with the Constitution of India and the UNCRC. I must thank Vikram sir because he really has been touching few buttons which go straight to my heart. उन्होंने कहा भाई संविधान सर्वोपरि है तो है. भारत का संविधान से बड़ा कोई डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं. I firmly believe this, sir. And उसके बाद हमने UNCRC के हम ऑथोराइज सिग्नेटरी हैं, तो फिर ठीक है, हमें वो भी देखना चाहिए कि उसके अंदर चाइल्ड राइट्स के बारे में जितनी चीजें दी गई हैं, we are able to sort of drive that agenda properly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before I begin, I would like to thank Devan Ansha for really providing a spinning by using this terminology for making the center. And I'm sure that it will intrigue a lot of people around. I mean, what it entails when you talk about the term, what you said, learning and empowerment. I mean, of course, everybody would say, well, everything is a learning. But that's not the concept. That is where it would like to puzzle you. That is where it will put you completely under arrest and make you think before you engage. Learning is a very broader category. It's not what I listened earlier. Learning is also talks about socialization. Learning also talks about different issues in our everyday life, what we do. And of course, empowerment. I'm sure that you are not doing a UN variety of empowerment. And you're doing what is a social science, a legal perspective of empowerment. Empowerment can be broadly categorized. What a Paulo-Freirean idea of empowerment, what is a UN variety of empowerment, and it should be very clear.
Thank you. What excellent panel. I would say what an excellent end of the day. In this panel, and at the beginning, and I think all the three speakers, panelists, have focused on a few points. Number one, I think very strongly what came from all the three panelists is the data center. I think Dr. Vikram has highlighted that why it is required. Dr. Paresh Shah has emphasized that we need data, even if you have to make a very authentic argument in front of the authorities, you need data. May I now request Dr. Balram, who is the coordinator of the panel.
Thanks. That in future we also expect your kind suggestion and valuable suggestion, because we have today started our journey. So hope that without your kind support we cannot go ahead. So in future you are the person who will guide and suggest us, and then help us also to that if we have any kind of further revision and improvement in our activities. So thank you, sir, and thank you, dear students, those who are here with us. So that I request you that there is high tea and that without taking don't go. And then further we are here, so we shall keep continue discuss. And yes, thank you. So I would like to conclude it here. Thank you.